That's what, 8 yards of separation just to start. And,
And I
and
mean, and look at Hallman down here, number 2. I mean,
yeah,
you
I
got a
mean,
guy who can cover like a glove,
and
and
they
I
are
mean, and
turning
he's
and burning
he's
like every
bailing.
one
I
of
mean,
them.
he's bailing like nobody's business. I mean, they're getting to cover 4 as fast as they can.
I
Well,
mean,
here's the
absolute
problem.
flipping hips, turning and burning. I mean, no awareness at all behind them. And I mean, say what you want. That's what ends up, costing a lot of DBs and man coverage, even elite ones, is not being able to look and locate the ball. Because that's when things like this happen, where the ball's thrown underneath the receiver, and maybe you can make a play on it because you have a better position, even though you're
Well,
burnt, but you don't know where the ball is because you're not turning around, and they end up catching it for a big gain.
see, and here's the thing, and I mean, and I know, you know, coached for years, taught for years, and I can tell you every single time. Oh, I won't say every single time because I mean there are people, who don't, who do, poor jobs at it. But the one thing that I can't help but think whenever you're watching this play right here unfold with that cornerback on that far side, I get say so there you're dropped back in zone. Well, here's the thing about about zone coverage. The dirty truth about it is every single zone coverage scheme ultimately turns into a man scheme. And right there, just about 3 yards for where he got, you're man to man. Well, the thing of it is whenever you got the turn and burn philosophy, which is what he's doing. He turns, he flips around and he runs just as hard as he can go down the sideline. Unfortunately, and this is something that's just it's just a truth, and people they may disagree. I don't give a dang who they've got. Every single day, LSU is faster than Wisconsin. You can't play this stuff. Now, this brings another one because here's the thing that I liked, and and I don't really understand, how it all crumbled, but it did crumble, and we're on to different things now. Um, I really liked the Paul Christ Wisconsin teams because I felt like that they were kind of like what that the early David Shaw teams were out at Stanford. They knew firmly who they were, and they beat you with technique. They beat you by outsmarting you out. Like that year in the Big Ten championship game, when for the whole first half they made that good Ohio State team just look like that they were just mentally incompetent. Slick play after slick play with a quarterback who really just wasn't that
It
great.
was Jack
Um,
Cohn who
yeah,
went to Notre
just
Dame.
and he just I mean in that system he couldn't really compete, and or at least I didn't think you could, not at that level. Everybody knew, at least I mean, unless you're just a diehard, everybody knew Ohio State's going to ultimately win that game. But boy, I tell you, Wisconsin showed off in that first half. It was something to watch. I still go back and watch that whenever once in a while. But the thing of it is, that cornerback, he has no idea of who he is and what he is up against. Here's why I say that. If you don't believe me, you could say, well, he just didn't know where the ball was at. Man, let me tell you, if number 21 right here does not know where the football's at or where to find the football or how to guess it where the football's at, that old boy needs to have a clipboard on the sideline because you can see LSU's receiver, his eyes are dead on that ball. Why in the land and in the name of every god did he not just turn around and shield that dude? See, that's what I don't get. Well, I mean, see, he's not even looking back there. He doesn't even know that a football's come through. He just says, "Oh, there's a guy I'm tripping
He
over."
just sees the hands and tries to
Yeah,
punch.
he does the basketball steal, and it's like, man, that's you're like, you're like a week late, and a paycheck short. I mean, it ain't gonna work out. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, that's what gets me is like, why did he not look? Because my thing is whenever when you're playing, that zone drop becomes a man defense ultimately, and at that point, you have to watch that guy's eyes because man, I mean, he showed you not only did he show you where the ball was, he showed you how the ball was falling and what he was going to have to do to catch it. And I mean, my God, if he turns around, I mean, he can make a play on that football. And if he turns around, smacks it down, turns around, if he intercepts it, game over.
Yeah.
LSU gonna have a hard time. I'm not saying they can't come back, but it's gonna the probabilities, have swung quite a
It's
bit. So
like
I mean,
one
I
first
just don't
down and the
know.
game's
I just don't
over.
know. That's exactly it. All you got to do is pick up one. And so I don't know. I mean, that's something that really is, is quite baffling to me